Yeah, so now let's take another coding challenge. So here we are going to have a problem where the problem is that given a string, we have to reverse that string, but we don't have to reverse that string character by character, but rather we have to reverse that string word by word. Okay, which means that let's say a solution is already implemented. I'm just showing you the demo, which can be the use cases, and then that we have to implement. So let's say there is a string s. That string is something like this is an awesome day. Okay, so firstly, let me deal with everything small case. We will discuss what are the repercussions of capital letters. But just for now, let's say everything is small. All the letters are alphabets. No numbers or something is there. No special characters like anything comma, exclamation mark. Nothing is there. Just plain and simple. All alphabets, lowercase alphabets, and space. These are the only two things present in the sentence. Now you have to take the string and then we have to reverse it, but you have to reverse the sentence by word, not by characters, which means that my answer looks something like this. So let's say log the solution. So let's say if the solution you have implemented and then you pass s, this is string, to the solution, then you print something like this. That you can see that characters are not reverted, but the reversal is basically based on the words, which means that the last word is day, that comes in the first, then awesome, then an, then is, and then this. So words are reversed. Okay, but one corresponding word, for example awesome, is not reversed, that is as it is. Okay, so this is the requirement is that there are some nuances to the requirement. Something is that if some alphabets are capital letters, then also your answer should be all in small letters only. Okay, so you can see that still my answer is this T is small letter only. That is first thing. Second thing is that let's say mm, let's say a really great comma awesome, something like this, really great comma or something, and day after day exclamation mark is there. Now you can see that this comma is there, this exclamation mark is there. You have to simply ignore all of these, which means that if I run this, then you can see that day awesome great really, you can see that this comma is removed, this exclamation mark is removed, this capital T is becoming small t, and that is the thing which we are doing, right? So this is what you have to implement, that whatever is given, you just have to firstly see that ignore all the special characters. That is the first thing. Remaining all the alphabets should be treated as smaller case, and your answer should be also provided in a smaller case, and then you have to reverse the entire sentence by word. Okay, so that is what you have to do. Now you can pause this session and implement it yourself, and then have a look at the solution. Yeah, so let's start the implementation of this solution. So this solution is implemented in this file called solution.js. uh, as we can see that whatever the string, which is the input, that is passed as a string argument to this function. So essentially you can understand that the default export must be a function. Okay, next take this function, so you can see that solution is a function, and that is export defaulted. Now you take this solution, but you can see that s which is passed is a string. Okay, so right now we can clearly see that if I print simply s and I run this, then you can see that yeah, this s is printed, and then I'm not returning anything, right? And that's why this returned thing is undefined. So that is fine, we'll fix that soon. But the first thing we are going to do is that we know that everything should be lowercase, and there should be no special characters, right? So for that, what we can do is that we can modify s. Let's modify it before. So s is equal to s dot uh, to so yeah, so that is the thing. So you can see that you can see that you are not getting IntelliSense, right? To lowercase, you are not getting that IntelliSense, this autofill or auto suggestion, right? And that is because this is this JavaScript has no way of knowing that this S is of what type. So right now you can see that it is writing any, which means that it doesn't know the type. And later we'll see that in JavaScript variant is there, which is called TypeScript, right? In fact, we mentioned it before. If we have TypeScript, then we can define types also inside the function arguments. For now, what we can do is that we can simply do something like S is equal to this thing, and then if I do so you can see something like this. Let's say uh, some string dot to lowercase. So now you can understand that later I will change this empty string to S, but right now I can know that these functions will be available. That's why I'm just using empty string. But let's see, to lowercase, then definitely that thing will be there. This thing will become S, will become lowercase. But now we also have to replace. And what we have to replace? We have to replace anything which is anything which is not low. So now everything is lowercase, right? But apart from lowercase, some special characters can also come. So the whole idea of using this regular expression is that we have to take anything which is other than a to z or space. You have to take anything which is other than a to z or space and replace it with empty string, for that matter. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create a regular expression, make that regular expression, let's say a to z space. But this is what we want, but we have to replace everything other than this. So so we can write not of that. And let's say if we find one or more such instances, then we have to replace it with empty string. So it will be, and let's make it global. So everywhere, not the first instance only, everywhere it will be replaced. So this should work, right? Just instead of empty string, let's do it S, and now we just print this thing. Now you can see that, yeah, the past thing was capital T, now this is small t. That is one thing. You can see this comma is gone. This comma is gone, right? This exclamation mark is gone. So we are on the correct path. Now all we need to do is that we have to split this string in parts separated by spaces. Okay, so let's see, let's make some variable, let's say called parts is equal to s dot, and we are going to do split by what? Split by a space. Okay, and then you can see that what is the structure of parts you're going to get. You are going to get something like this. This is finally yeah, so you can understand. Just for simplicity, let's take a smaller example. So this is an awesome day. That should work, right? This is an awesome day. Now what is the array we are getting? This is an awesome day. So you can see that earlier this whole thing was a simple sentence, one string separated by spaces, and now it is an array. One more thing, one more problem is here, is that let's say there is some additional space. So after and, let's say there are two spaces just by mistake, right? Then that also you have to fix. Means word by word we have to replace. But if multiple spaces are there, then you have to handle that also. If you have not handled that, then you can pause the session and you can implement that also. If I forgot to mention this earlier while the introduction of the question. So in this case, the answer will not this array will be wrong, right? Because now since there are two spaces here and you are splitting it by what? Or splitting it by one space. So essentially here you are going to get one empty string, something like this, right? We don't want this. So what we are going to do is that we are going to apply filter on it. And again, whatever the word is there, that word should not be empty string or something, right? If empty string is there, then that will be false in this case, right? And that's why that will be ignored. So that's why we are using filter. And now we can see that thing is gone. So that is fine. Now once we have handled that situation, we just have to reverse this, right? And that is pretty simple. We just have to take parts dot reverse, okay, and and for that matter, right now just do it in a variable answer. Obviously this is not the answer, but just print it. But you are getting somewhat near. Okay, you can see that the whole string is reversed, that is fine, but now we have to join it with space, right? So reverse dot join and join it with space, and you can see that this is what you are getting. And then rather than printing this, rather we can simply return this, and that should be the answer. Yeah, so now you can see that if we do something like this, then we are getting this. If we are using something like this, then we are getting this. So this works fine, right? Now let's take a few more test cases to verify that the solution is correct. Yeah, so obviously it works for a few of the test cases which we have just we tried on our own. But the thing is that there is a proper test suite available at this URL. I'll be giving this whole URL in the description. So let's take this for now, and let's see that whether our solution works for this whole test suite or not. In that you can see that a bunch of inputs is given, this 5 inputs is given, and for each of them what is the expected output, that is also given. And we are doing console assert. So if for each input the corresponding solution is matching, then nothing will be printed. If anywhere it is mismatching, then only it will be printed. So yeah, so that assertion is there. Let's run this. So node src index. Yeah, and you can see that done, which means that no errors, assertion errors is happening, which means that whatever is the expected output, that is happening here, right? So you can just take the test suite from here and test it for your solution also. I'll provide this in the description.